Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be searching for the secret character using the clues given by the clue giver in Similo. Let's go to the table, we'll see how it's played, and I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. So the clue giver is going to shuffle the cards up, and the clue giver is going to take the top card and look at it themselves. So this happens to be Mangiafuko. I think that's how you pronounce it. Horrible with that name. And they're going to set it face down on the table. And then they're going to count out 11 more cards. All right. You put the other cards off to the side. And then they're going to take these into their hand. They're going to shuffle. This is how I usually do is shuffle them just so these cards are all going to be face up for the other players to see, but you don't want them to know what's on the bottom, which is the card you want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay out all 12 cards. I generally do it in a 4x3 pattern, like this. Oh, I was one card short. So we'll move all these cards up here so we can see them. Adjust the camera a little bit here. All right, so now we know, all the players know that one of these is the secret character. So now the clue giver is going to take the top 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are going to be put aside because they're not going to be used in the game. And then what the clue giver is going to do is they're going to turn this card over and they're going to look at it. Now, we know, because we know who the secret character is, that it's this character here. Now, what we have to do is tell the players that are playing whether this character has similarities or differences from this character. And it can be a lot of things. It could be eye color. It could be that they're both boys. It could be a difference that one's good and one's bad. It can be that they're not in the same movie or the same story, because this is obviously Jack and the Beanstalk and this is Pinocchio. So what we do is we say either there are similarities and we set the card down like this, face up, or there are differences. Now in the first round, the people that are trying to find the secret character are going to take that, they're going to talk about it, and then they're going to take one character out. They're going to pick one character. This game can end if they were to pick this character to discard in the first round. So it can end that quickly. So they'll go along and they'll say, well, this, Jack is good and we want to do somebody that's good, or a girl as opposed to a boy, or someone that doesn't have green eyes, because the secret characters, so they decide they're going to take Alice, because Alice is a girl, even though she's good. She doesn't, so they decide, okay, so that's good. Alice is fine. So now you take the next card. And we say, okay, so it's Aladdin. And we can say, well, Aladdin does show similarities between him. They both have beards. They're both boys. Yes, one's bad and one's good. They're both a little older. So then in this round, the second round, the people trying to find the secret character have to take 2 people out. So they have to pick 2 characters, and they say, okay, well, similarities. So they're looking for somebody different than him. So they say, okay, well, the Big Bad Wolf and Pinocchio are both very different from him. And okay, so they won that round. Or I guess it's not winning, but they didn't lose that round. So then you go to the next card, which they have to take 3 cards out. So they've got to discard 3. So you keep going like that. In this one, they have to discard 4. So if they discard these 3 and then they discard these 4, then they would be down to 2 cards for the last one. The Evil Queen, and then they have to make a decision from there. And that's really how this game goes. It seems very simple when you watch a playthrough like this, but it is extremely difficult. We played it several times. I think we played it almost a dozen times before we won. So, and there are other decks that they have. This is the Fables deck. There is also a historic characters deck, which is kind of cool. If you're homeschooling, that's one of those cool things that you can get the history deck. And there's also a myths deck, which is really cool. So that's how you play. Let's go back up and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, so that's how you play Similo. Now, we played the Fables version today, and they do make other versions like the history version, and then they do one that's myths. And you can actually play both of these games together, and what you do is you take your 12 cards from one deck, and then the clue giver takes 5 from the other deck and uses those as their comparison for the characters. This game is not easy. It's actually very difficult. We had a lot of hard time with this when we started, but it wasn't a frustrating hard time. It was like a tension building hard time. And this is the kind of game that really challenges people like my daughter, who's 10 years old. She loves this game, even though we very rarely, if ever, win. We a lot of times get down to the last 2 or the last 6. And it's only as good as the talking through that you do when you have a large group, and talking through, and the larger the group the better, because you can get in these really in-depth conversations. And we get down as far as to do the color of the character's eyes match, things really similar like that. So we really enjoy this. This is a game that you can play again and again and again. You can play 5 or 6 times in a row, which we have done on multiple occasions. So this is a game that we do recommend. It does have a learning curve, and it will take some time, but in the end, it is very enjoyable. So we hope you enjoyed this review, guys. We would like you to like and share and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. We do try to put out at least 1 video a week, usually on Wednesdays, and we will see you next time with another review. Thanks for coming in. Bye.